In this video, I'm going to talk about some of the best ways to make money in real estate in 2021. Make sure you stick around because I'm going to share some of the key strategies that I've used to achieve financial freedom by building a passive income portfolio. So in this video, I'm sharing kind of my point of view on how the real estate is going to evolve in 2021. My point of view has been established by using different market data, market statistics, some census data. Basically, based on that information, kind of come up with what I think the general market direction is going to take. I want to emphasize that I am a real estate investor, and so I am focused really on how to best position my portfolio. So I'm not trying to predict the future here. What I'm trying to do is position my real estate investment portfolio so that I minimize my risk, that I also preserve capital, and that I maximize my returns as well. So by taking advantage of some opportunities that I might see out there. And based on what I've seen, obviously the pandemic in 2020 will continue to affect 2021. It's going to have a significant impact on various sectors of the economy. I think it's going to affect especially some of the retail, the commercial real estate, the retail sector. So the restaurants and the retail stores are going to be two sectors that are going to be very affected, and that's going to affect the commercial retail space, especially I would say in the large expensive cities, but also in the smaller cities. So for me, this is one area that I am not going to invest in 2021 because I'm seeing significant amount of risk in here. I'm going to also see a lot of available space for new tenants or new business that want to start. So I'm going to stay away from the commercial retail and hospitality space. The other sector that's a little bit different is going to be the office space. I think in large cities, I think we're seeing a little bit of a migration out of the large expensive cities into smaller mid-sized city, what I call like the tier 2 and maybe even the tier 3 cities that are more affordable. So that means that some of the large companies would be able to set up satellite offices, rent small offices in these tier 2 and tier 3 cities. So this might be something that is an opportunity that wasn't there before. So I see a downtrend in terms of the commercial office space in large expensive cities, and the advantage would be on the tier 2 and tier 3 smaller office facilities in those cities. I'm not going to position myself in that market because I don't have really the knowledge associated with that or the exposure in that. If I see an opportunity, I think this is something that I might consider if I have the right partner, the right situation. But right now, this is not something that I'm going to actively pursue in 2021. But if you have that knowledge, I think you should really look into this. Also, in the hospitality sector, so anything that deals with hospital, we talked a little bit about restaurant business, but also Airbnb. This is also something that I'm not going to be involved with in 2021. I think that in terms of the business traveler, which is there's a lot of travelers that are business travelers. So these people, I think, is going to continue to go down. The need for business travel is going to continue to go down. I think because of the working from home, because customers are now more accustomed maybe to having a remote salesperson that will sell to them via video conference call over the internet. So I think that at least in 2021, maybe even in 2022, I'm going to see more remote internet conference call, video call kind of sales happening, and I think the business travel will be reduced during that time period. So I'm going to stay away from the hospitality side of things, from even Airbnb. I think this is something that's going to be there's going to be just a lot of inventory that's going to happen in those space. So I think I'm going to stay away from that. Unless I see some changes in trends as the year progresses, we might look into something, but right now, not something I'm going to be looking into actively in 2021. So far I've been talking a lot about how not to make money in real estate, and now I'm going to talk about some of the strategies that I've been using and that continue to work I believe, in 2021 and beyond. And this is the single family rentals and residential rentals. Except maybe in the larger city, large expensive city, I think there's going to be an exodus or migration outwards of these large expensive city as people can work from home more freely. And we've seen that already happening in San Francisco, for example, 11% decline in rental rates. And when we're seeing in the markets that I invest in, like Cleveland and Memphis, we've seen an increase in rents of about 5 to 10%. So we're seeing good progress there. So I will continue with this strategy in cash flowing markets. So that means that this strategy is working very well. Some of the concerns were about people being able to pay rent. And so we haven't really seen that. We're staying with the B and C class kind of properties. So these are people that are working, kind of blue collar worker or low level managers. And they have plenty of jobs at that level. We are also in sectors or in cities where there's a lot of healthcare workers and also rely a lot on Amazon, online kind of business. So because of that, a lot of these jobs are fairly secure. And so we're seeing some good numbers there. If you are in an area that's more heavy on the manufacturing, so that would be harder to predict. Let's say the rents happening there. So anything in manufacturing. So I would kind of really think twice and really pick the right neighborhood and the right markets for these things. But in general, if you're in the healthcare, if you're in the supporting the online business like Amazon, any kind of distribution centers and all of that, I think these are solid markets, and you should be able to do well in the single family rental as well as the multifamily rental space. So other sectors that you might consider that might be kind of real estate related are REITs. So I'm thinking more of public REITs right now. So these are really they're traded on the stock market, and I think I'm staying away from the stock market in 2021. I believe there will be a couple of corrections in there, even though the government is printing a lot of money, and a lot of that money is going to companies that will make sure that their stock price stays high. I also know the Fed is also kind of involved in the stock market as well, and buying assets in the stock market. But I think there's going to be some corrections in there, and I don't want to play into that game. So I'm going to stay focused on. If I'm going to stay focused on real estate, I'm going to have something that I'm going to keep control of it. So that also means that I'm going to stay away from syndication. I want to have something that I can control. I am not certain of some of these, I know that some of these syndicators are very experienced and they're doing a great job, and your money will be safe with them. But I would prefer to trust my own judgment sometimes on some of these investments. So I don't normally invest in syndication because I have my own investment portfolio that I invest directly with. I think this is always better to do direct investment. So I stay away from syndication as well in 2021 at least. Another sector that could work well beside a single family rental and multifamily is going to be mobile home park. So I'm not invested in mobile home parks. I have a couple of friends that are invested in it. They swear by it. They love it, and I think this could be something that could work well in 2021 and beyond for people that have lost their jobs and they're trying to kind of like get back on their feet. So this is a good way to secure some living space at a reasonable price, and so I think this could be a very good strategy. The other strategies around Section 8. So these are government subsidized housing. Or rents. So this could be something that work well if you're afraid that your tenants aren't going to pay rents. The Section 8, at least, the government will guarantee a portion of the payment. So this is something that could work well. What I found about Section 8 is that it really is dependent on the market. Some market, the Section 8 is really something that is very good, and they actually pay higher than market rent. If you're in that market, this is fantastic. If I look at Memphis and Cleveland, when we looked at the Section 8 for these markets, the Section 8 tenants were paying less than market rent. So we didn't want to be burdened with that. So none of our investments are actually using Section 8. If you're in some markets where Section 8 is a positive and they're paying very good rent, this is something that you may want to consider. You're going to have a secure source of income. The government's going to pay for the rent, so that's very good. Well, thank you for watching this video. I hope you learned something, and I hope this is going to help you really position your portfolio very well in 2021 and maybe even start investing in real estate in 2021 if you haven't done so already. If you're interested in real estate, investing, entrepreneurship, make sure you check the other videos on my channel. Make sure you like this video and subscribe so that you stay in touch and you can also be notified whenever I publish another video. So thank you very much.